I think this is the right house. Number 3. Oh, hello.
Greetings.
Is Professor Peh here?
Yeah, he's right there.
Oh, are you like his?
I'm his servant.
Okay.
Yeah, come on in.
Thank you.
That chair is for you. I'll push you around.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Don't worry. There it is.
Professor Peh, are you free to talk right now?
No, I'm busy. Go away.
Well, I just had a high school research project on dystopian societies, and I heard that.
Dystopian society?
Yeah,
That's what I'm researching right now.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So.
Servant, go fetch us some drinks. We might be here a while. Alright, so I'm actually researching about how living in a dystopian society changes a person's true nature. And what do you want to know about dystopian society?
Well, first of all, Professor, what is the definition of a dystopian society?
I'm glad you asked. My definition of a dystopian society is characterized by human misery, askelaar, oppression, disease, and overcrowding. Here, see for yourself.
Oh, wow. Oh, and Professor Peh, I need a book for my project, but I don't know any novels about dystopian society. Do you have any to recommend?
Well, there's 3 books that exemplify dystopian society. Maze Runner, Divergent, and Without You, There Is No Us. Which one do you want to pick?
Can we just go through all 3 of them?
Sure.
The story of the Maze Runner starts off with a boy named Thomas who wakes up in a metal box. He doesn't remember anything about his past or anything at all except his name. When he steps out of the metal box, he finds himself in a strange place called the Glade. There are about 50 other boys who've come to the Glade who also don't know anything about their past. They call themselves the Gladers. The Glade is surrounded by a giant maze. The most important people in the Glade are the runners, the ones who go out running through the maze. The Gladers' number 1 goal is to solve the maze and find their way home. Shortly after Thomas's arrival, the boys are surprised to find the first girl by the name of Teresa. Later on, Thomas discovers that there are deadly monsters inside the maze called Grievers, who are the most powerful at night. That's also when they attack. The Grievers invade the Glade later on at night and kill several people. Thomas and the Gladers work hours to fight off the Grievers, but they realize that there are far too many of them. Thomas eventually gets stung by a Griever in order to restore his memory. This is how he finds out how to escape the maze. In the end, Thomas and Teresa escape the maze and come face to face with the Creators. The Creators are a corporation known as Wicked that created the maze. Thomas and the Gladers are soon informed that an apocalyptic occurrence has killed off more than half of the world's population.
So that was a brief overview of Maze Runner. Would you care for a more in-depth analysis about it?
Yeah. Can you please tell me how it connects to a dystopian society?
Hold up. Servant! Come here. You read this book before, yes?
Yeah.
Would you care to explain it to the student? I have to go run some errands right now.
I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
Hey, so servant, or the professor's not here, so like we could be more informal. You could just put down your pen, or.
Okay.
So what is your name?
Like, people usually just call me servant around here, but with the professor gone, my name is Jeff.
Okay, Jeff. So how does the novel connect to a dystopian society?
Okay, so basically the people that live in the Maze Runner novel, they live in an area called the Glade, which is a large field surrounded by a maze filled with monsters. And the society in the Maze Runner is dystopian because the inhabitants are there against their own will. And they're placed there by the creators who survey them constantly and like what they're doing in the maze or what they're doing in the Glade. And they try to see if they can escape. And there are things outside the walls waiting to hurt them, so that makes them want to escape more. So that's pretty much how it connects to a dystopian society.
Hey, what are you doing? Why are you sitting down? Why aren't you holding your pen? Go, get! Did he talk about Maze Runner with you?
Yes, he did.
All right, are we ready to move on to our next book, Divergent?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Triss lives in a world where there are 5 factions that carry out the daily duties of civilized living. They are Abnegation, Dauntless, Amity, Erudite, and Candor. A child is born into a faction, but once they reach about 16 years old, they are given an aptitude test to help them decide which faction they will live in for the rest of their lives. Those who choose to leave their own factions are free to do so, but must pledge loyalty to the faction of their own family. Triss is a 16-year-old member of the Abnegation faction as the story opens. She has been raised to be completely selfish, but doesn't believe she fits into the ideals of her own faction. All teens around 16 years old undergo a test designed to help them decide which faction they should join. Triss and her older brother Caleb are among the teens undergoing the test on a particular day. Beatrice is tested by a member of the Dauntless faction who reveals that she's actually divergent, which means that she's none of the above. The woman tells her that she should never tell anyone what she is and that her life is in danger if she does. With only that information, Triss goes home and begins trying to decide which faction she'll choose. When the ceremony day arrives, Caleb decides to leave the faction for the Erudites, and Triss initially believes she'll have to remain in the Abnegation because she hates the idea of leaving her parents alone. However, she decides to leave and join Dauntless. Once there, she discovers the leaders have lost sight of protecting the city and its residents. Instead, cruelty is taught and expected. She meets a Dauntless nicknamed Four and discovers that he's the son of an Abnegation leader. Triss manages to survive the initiation process, but uncovers a plot hatched by the Erudite used to use the Dauntless to overthrow the Abnegation. The Erudites take control of the Dauntless through a simulation device, and the members of the Dauntless faction wage a bloody war on the Abnegation. Beatrice's parents fall victim, as do others, before the situation is brought to a conclusion by Triss, Caleb, and Four.
Okay, so that was a brief overview of what Divergent was. Now for an in-depth analysis of Divergent.
Ooh, Professor, I think I know how this connects to dystopian society.
Okay, how does it connect to dystopian society?
Is it because the main character, Triss, is trapped in a futuristic society where the government is in control? She doesn't fit into society and is forced to pick a faction because everyone is bound by rules. There isn't an option to not pick.
That's correct.
Wow.
Oh. Okay. All right, should we get on to the last book?
Okay.
All right, let's go.
In the book Without You, There Is No Us, we see the author Suki Kim have a first-hand experience with North Korea. She is employed as an English teacher by the top university of North Korea, Pyongyang University. She does not know what to expect when she gets there, but when she does, the scene is very jaw-dropping. All around her, she sees the sheer amount of propaganda that North Korea has circulated through its society, ranging from posters of Kim Jong-il, Kim Jong-un, and Kim Il-sung to the national anthem playing on speakers. When she gets to the university, she is in for another culture shock. When she enters the room, all the students stand and greet her, and to her surprise, the students are not what she expected. Although they worship and value their leaders, they also have tremendous respect for tradition and their elders. But after about 6 months, she starts to feel paranoid, as if everything she's doing is being watched, whether it be from surfing the internet or watching television. A few weeks later, after the death of Kim Jong-il, she has to leave North Korea, but not before developing a special bond with her students.
Okay, so that was a brief summary about Without You, There Is No Us. So a more in-depth analysis about it is that in the novel, we see Suki, the main character, arriving in the capital, Pyongyang. And upon her arrival, she sees that there is an amazing amount of propaganda. In dystopian societies, the government uses as much propaganda to try and manipulate the citizens. In the novel, the propaganda has influenced the citizens of North Korea so much that they deify their leaders, so much that they even worship them before they eat. Well, actually, there is one more book. I wasn't sure if I should tell you this, but it's in the basement. Let's go. Orcs and Crake by Margaret Atwood. Alright, Orcs and Crake really relates to the motif dystopian society. But before I talk about it, servant, more water.
No! What? I'm not gonna get you water? I'm tired of this, Dad.
What do you mean? You're just a servant.
No!
Jeff?
No! Shut up! I'm taking over now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, Jeff, you read Orcs and Crick before?
Yeah, I read it as a kid, but my dad locked it away in a basement afterwards.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But anyway, Oryx and Crake, from as far as I've read it, I can tell you that it relates to a dystopian society because the citizens outside of the compound are...
Wait, the professor, what the?
are forced to live in the Pleblands, which is an area filled with strip clubs and criminals that have nowhere to live and are allowed to live in the compounds. And then in addition to that, Crake also tries to play God in a way by creating new human beings with modified traits. And this whole thing of him like creating new people is kind of artificial and dehumanizing in that way. You know what? Now that I think about it, I was the one living in a dystopian society. He kept me in here the whole time to be his own servant. I never got to go out or do anything. I was basically living for him. I didn't get to live my own life, so I'm out. See you later.
Wait, Jeff, your pen.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. If he ever wakes up and asks, just tell him I'm living my life now. I'm done.
See you, Jeff.
See you, man.
You're a good friend. What do I do now? Professor.
What happened?
Oh, nothing. I just learned a lot about how Orcs and Crake was like a dystopian society.
Oh, good. What happened to Jeff? Where's Jeff?
Oh, he said, he went to go fetch some milk.
Oh, good riddance.
Yeah.
Oh, my head hurts.
Now that I think about it, Professor, Orcs and Crake seem sort of long. Is there anything shorter?
So you want something shorter than a novel but longer than a short story?
Yeah, correct.
Oh, you want a novella?
Oh yeah, la novella is good.
Well, I know a perfect novella for you. Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. Let's take a trip to the Congo.
The novella Heart of Darkness can also be connected to a dystopian motif. In Heart of Darkness, the world that Kurtz lives in exemplifies a dystopian society. This is shown by Kurtz cutting off the heads of simply any people he did not approve of and hanging them on stakes afterwards. This way that Kurtz takes care of business regarding people he does not like is both inhumane and frightening.
Okay, so that was Heart of Darkness. Do you have any other questions?
Yes, actually. So, how does the motif of a dystopian society connect to the world today in general?
Actually, you know what? There is a modern day example of a dystopian society. Some people consider North Korea as a dystopian society. Like a dystopian society, the people of North Korea don't have a lot of freedoms. They can't leave North Korea. The government chooses their jobs for them, and almost no one has phones. There's propaganda everywhere, and the government tells their people that they're the only prosperous country, so they would not want to leave. You know, it's getting pretty late. Do you have any more questions?
Not really.
No more questions?
Yeah.
Alright, get out.
Oh, I just want to thank you today, Professor. I learned a lot. I think I'll get an A on my project now.
Yeah, get out.
Okay. Dang, that was a nice day. What the heck? Jeff? I thought you left.
Nah, man.
And Professor, I need a book for this project. Why are you laughing, bro?
Aren't you supposed to say something?
I forgot.
Bruh, Allan, come on. What are you? What are you doing?